Hello and welcome. This is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach, and today I want to talk to you about spiritual unfolding. What is it? So before I get started, I want to ask you a favor. Please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe because this helps my algorithm and helps me get found. So I appreciate your help in that regard. But that being said, let's get started. Spiritual unfolding is the process where our souls grow, expand, increase, and become. What does that mean? Now, I'm going to break this down into three different sections to kind of explain and go into a bit more detail and using my life as context to kind of explain exactly what this means. So the first stage is belief. We all start off in this world with a set of beliefs, which are basically brought to us or indoctrinated with us through our friends, our family, through our religion. One of the things that kind of set the stage for my belief system is the fact that I was brought up Catholic and I was indoctrinated into the Catholic faith. And when I say indoctrinated, I don't mean that in a negative sense because I love being Catholic. I was uh, brought up to do my first communion, to go to catechism classes. So I was educated in the Catholic religion. So that was my indoctrination. That was my set of belief systems. And I remembered growing up, my father basically saying to me, and I actually appreciated this comment later on in life. He said, as my role as a father is to guide you when it comes to religion and to give you a template or a point of comparison. And by me raising you in the Catholic faith, when you become an adult, it's up to you to choose to continue this belief system or spread your wings and explore others. But it's up to me to give you a template of something to gauge and measure others to. And I like that idea because if you don't have a point of reference, if you grew up, and this is just my mindset, if you grew up not knowing anything about religion, and I had a friend who did that. Her family had a basis of religion in terms of their childhood, but they never indoctrinated their children with that. So she was raised with no basis of religion. So she didn't understand any of this. So when I would make a comment about going to church or communion, she didn't understand the process. And it has nothing to do with her belief system. She did not understand what religion meant and why people chose to believe. Now, here's the thing that I think this is how I feel when it comes to religions. And especially with spirituality, your step in spiritual growth or even spiritual unfolding, is to understand that you are part of a whole picture. You are a thread within the fabric of a huge universe. And you contribute. And understanding that when it comes to spiritual unfolding, it's identifying the fact that you are part of this. But also, there's a world out there that is not always what you see. Knowing that there is a world that extends beyond our scope. Now, when I discovered, and religion actually gave me a foundation for that, in an odd way, but it made me realize that we are here to help others. We are not on this planet alone. I believe that we're all in this together. I believe that our life is part of it is to help others, to help their path, and to help others grow, learn, and become a better sense of who they are. And it's about being empathetic to the next person, realizing this is not about you. And I mean that in terms of, when things happen in this world, it's not about how this affecting you. It's also like, what can I do? And Mr. Rogers, I don't know why he just popped into my mind, but he did. He was a really amazing proponent of this. And I love when he would say, it's about finding the helpers and, being a source, being not only helping somebody, but looking for help when you need it, but knowing, and it goes back to the belief system, knowing that you're not in this alone, knowing that there are other people on this planet, and people spirits that you cannot see. I learned this at an early age, and I'll go into this more in detail in this conversation, but my belief system, when it came to religion, opened up the door for spirituality. Now, I know people are like, well, Catholicism doesn't really believe in this. Yeah, but I'm specifically talking about my belief system and my journey. And through Catholicism, it kind of helped me understand the world outside of what I can see. Because again, I'm a psychic, I'm a clairvoyant, I'm a spiritual entrepreneur, I'm a spiritual business coach. I help my clients connect on the other side. So I always felt that there was something out there beyond me. And it wasn't until I learned that there was, I just had this idea, my belief that it wasn't necessarily about me. There was other souls out there beyond what I saw. That was my belief system. But again, it was through my upbringing helped me to connect with this. So my first step was the belief. The second step is basically the faith. I always had the faith that things were going to work out. And here's the thing, and it's just generally speaking, I grew up in a middle-class family. I never worried about money. And I say middle-class family just to give you context. We never talked about money. I never worried about money. I grew up with the faith that it would always be there. So when I worried about something, or not worried, because that's a bad word, when I wanted something and I truly desired it, I didn't worry about the money. And this was a skill that really transcended and helped me as I became an adult, because I didn't focus on the money. And here's the thing, and this actually happened to me within the last year or so, not 2 years. I was purchasing, and I think I may have shared this story, but I was purchasing a program for my business, and it was, the amount of money I was going to spend was outside of the normal price that I would automatically just click the button on. But I was hesitant. I was kind of reticent to purchase this, and I literally heard in my head, "What are you, chicken?" And I was like, there was my guides talking to me, and I'm like, "You're right." I knew that if I purchased this, I have no excuses. Click. But my point is, having the faith to know that everything's always going to work out, because you relying upon yourself. And my faith was based on myself. And just to give you context, back when I was in junior high or high school, I can't remember exactly, but it was algebra. I was horrible at math. Hated it. Truly hated it. But the thing was, in retrospect, I hated it because you had to actually stop and think. You had to and now, I kind of am challenged and love it. I wouldn't use the word love. That was a bad word. But I enjoy it more because I see it as the puzzle in which it actually is. But my point was, at the time, I didn't really enjoy it. And as a result, my grades reflected that. And I'll never forget, I remembered the teacher was lovely, and she made a comment to me. And it was just kind of like, "Oh, you'll get a better grade next time, won't you?" Like questioning. And whatever, I didn't appreciate being called out in class, but whatever, that's what teachers do to motivate you to get a better grade. And it did work because I did not appreciate that. And as a result, I was like, you know what? I made the commitment that I'm going to get a better grade. And I don't remember specifically if I said I was going to get an A, B, C, or whatever. I just said that I was going to. And what I did was I had the faith that that was going to happen, but I put in the work. I put in the work because I was like, doggone it, I'm not going to not get a good grade. And sure enough, I'll never forget, I did. And the teacher was so impressed because she called it out. And I just put my head down because I could not respond in any other way other than tears were coming through my eyes. So I put my head down on my desk because I was like, I couldn't look up because there was too much emotion. But I remember, I'm still actually thinking about it, just gets me teary-eyed. But the point was, this was one of the first times I intentionally realized that something that I said that I'm going to do it without fail. I did not say I hope. I did not say I will try. I said I will. And this was the moment I realized the power of intention and the power of words. And I remembered looking back on it that it scared me. After realizing this, it was like as a child going, I could do all these things. And I remembered at that moment, I dropped it. I did not want to have that power. It was weird because in that moment, I realized that I could achieve anything I wanted. I could do anything I wanted. Oh, crap. Really scared me. And I dropped the ball on that. But it was just, the idea that you can achieve whatever you want to do is very powerful and it is very scary. And goes back to my favorite orator and self-help guru, Wayne Dyer, who said, thoughts become things. And it's so true. And yeah, faith, having faith, knowing that the things that you are hoping for or you're trying for will come to fruition. And I challenge you with this question. While we're focused on faith, think about the thing that you were hell-bent on doing, achieving, thriving in, how you achieved that goal, the steps that you did. Remind yourself of your power. Because one of the things that helps with you with reaffirming your faith is reminding yourself of your inner power. And I'm going to that story that I gave as a child. I felt powerful. I felt I could do anything, and that scared the heck out of me. And as a result, I let it go. Now, and when I, as an adult started, people were talking about the secret manifestation and all this other stuff. And my friends and family were like, we did this all the time. We called it faith. We called it, just making things happen. We never called it the secret because it was never a secret. But the point was, this reminded me of the times in my life that I made things happen. It made me wonder, why did I drop that again? Until I thought a little harder and was like, yeah, that's why. So this is a challenge for you in this video, is to think about the things that you put your faith in, the things that you made happen, to reconfirm your faith in the things that you can do. Now, the next step, and this is focusing on your spiritual unfolding. We talked about the belief, we talked about the faith. Now we're going to talk about your direct experience with spirituality. Now, there's always something that happens that make you go, ah. When I first came out of the spiritual closet, that's what I call it, because when I was, thought that I had great instincts, great intuition, I knew things before I should possibly know them. And again, if you're curious about this, I'm going to put the link to the video in which started this whole thing off, so you can see my unfolding, or part of it, because it's constantly evolving. But here's the thing. My spiritual unfolding, or my journey, started way back when. When I was 8 or 9 years old, when my grandmother spoke to me. And if you know my story, my grandmother died the year I was born. I was named after her. I never met her. I met her in this lifetime as one of my spirit guides. I have an amazing relationship with her. She helps me in my business. It makes, to anybody else who doesn't believe in this world, it makes absolutely no sense. But when I give context to the stories, everybody always has a story. And let me share with you what I mean by that. When I first started networking, when we could go to actual networking events and meet strangers in person, when people would say, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a psychic and clairvoyant, and I use my gifts in my spiritual business practice. Oh, yeah, I don't believe in that. And the minute they would say that, they would then never leave my side during these events and then tell me a story that was counter to what they just said, because there was some spiritual situation that happened, something that defied logic, something weird that they wanted to share. And at the same time, they were always with me, hoping to I would get a spiritual hit. that I would give them a free reading. I would tell them something that they didn't know. That's the irony that I think about people who don't believe in this world. They want to hear what you want to say. I can't say enough. When I first got started, I did a ton of free readings in the beginning just because I was trying to figure this out. And then once I was confident that I was receiving the information based on the results that I was getting, when I started to charge, I had so many people who were like, how do I know you're accurate? Why don't we get on the phone and if you're, maybe I'll pay you something after it comes true. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. I had, and this actually happened the other day. I had a group of clients. It was a session for 3, and we get on, and I'm like, oh, okay, everybody's here. And she's like, no, one more person's coming. But there were 3 people on Zoom, and I was like, no, but you only paid for 3. And here's the thing: when you book me, because I do group sessions, whatever, as well as one-on-one, you book for how many people are coming. And I show up for the sessions, you're already prepaid, and that takes away the ickiness of having to deal with, how much is the cost, that kind of a thing. So I'm already in the zone and prepared to work with you. So in this instance, instead of 3 people, there were 4. And and I hate to talk money. And I said, well, you only paid for 3. Oh, I'll give you more money. I'm like, well, we're already starting. That's not how it works. And she said, oh, okay, no worries. And then the 4th person went up the stairs. But this is Zoom. She snuck back down the stairs and hopped on the couch. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just cancel the session and refund you your money. And they messaged me like, oh, no, we'll resolve it. And it's like, no, this was good faith. You're here for the purpose of a group session, and you're already just being disrespectful. But the point that I'm trying to share is people, regardless of what their opinion is about spirituality, they are always curious. And whether they, are willing to pay, or, they want to hear conversations, there's always something in the back of their mind, that something that had happened to them that brought them on that path, or brought them curious to that world. So if you're here because you're spiritually curious, then welcome. Don't forget to like my videos. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to comment in the comment section, because I love hearing what you have to share. And also, there is a link in the description if you want to book, because so many people want to book sessions. But don't forget to, when you're booking, being accurate about how many people who are going to show up, because it's not nice to try to sneak in a session. I'm not blind, and neither are my guides. But again, this video was about spirituality, the stages of spiritual unfolding, and how it can help you. And I'm curious as to what stage you are in at this point. Are you at the belief system, just trying to formulate your beliefs, or change your beliefs? Because again, these have been formulated since childhood. What about your faith? Are you trying to reaffirm your faith to try to make things happen? Are you manifest the things that you desire? Or are you trying to regain your faith? I'm curious about that as well. And also, I would love to hear about your direct experiences, because a lot of people who come to this channel have experience with spirituality, or have something that had happened to them that want them to explore it a little further. I'm curious as to yours. So again, I love seeing you guys in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and comment. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.